sugar in apple. Is it sweet? Yes, it is, because they have something called fruit sugar. We also have milk sugar. It's what we call lactose. So those are what we call simple sugars. Then the more complicated structure, carbohydrates are the rice, your noodles, your kway teow, your bee hoon, your dang hoon, your yellow mee, your mee kia, mee pok. They all belong to this category. Your bread, okay, your potatoes, the morning cereals, many of you probably have oat for breakfast. Those are all considered as carbohydrates. Even vegetables, okay, your carrots, your chai sam kai lan also have some carbohydrates. Beans and lentils, your red bean soup, your green bean soup, even if you don't add sugar, they also have carbohydrates. So you need to know how much you are allowed to have every day. So how much? Okay, so in general, recommendation is carbohydrates can provide between 50 to 60% of your total calorie or energy intake. So no more than that, no more than 60%. That's it, maximum, okay? So do you know how many, do you know how to calculate? Let me show you how to calculate. You remember earlier on I showed you this table, like how many calories are you supposed to have every day? And we say that for women between, let's say, between 18 to 30 years old, very light activity level, their requirement or their allowance is 2,000, no more than that. Okay, so let's assume that every day you're allowed to have 2,000. So if your allowance is 2,000, how many grams or how much carbo can you have? Well, remember we say 50 to 60%. So let's choose something in between, 55%. Okay, so 55% of this total amount can be from carbo. So let's find out 50% of 2,000 is how many calories? You know how to calculate, right? 2,000 times 55% is 1,100 calories. Up to now, are you okay? Do you understand? No problem, right? Okay, so now you remember, okay, I need 1,100 calories, and I know that can be from carbohydrates. So what does that mean? How many bowl of rice? I still need to know how many bowl of rice. Don't tell me calories. Fair enough, okay? Let me show you how much. So 1,100 calories, but that is how many grams of carbo? I need to divide this by 4. Why do I need to divide by 4? Because every gram of carbo gives you 4 calories. So if you get 1,100, you want to know how much carbo that is? Divide by 4. So that comes to this magic number, 275 grams of carbohydrates. Not rice, carbohydrates. Okay, so now you know 2,000 calories, then become 1,001. Then at the end of the day, it's 271 grams. So what does that mean? So I still need to know how many bowls of rice. Don't worry, I will show you. 275. So how much carbo am I getting from one slice of bread? How much? Each serving here will give you roughly about 15 grams of carbo. So if you eat one slice of bread, how many grams of carbo you get? 15 grams. If you eat one bowl of rice, how many grams? It's not here. We have lucky draw. So if you answer this question correctly, you get double entrance. Okay, one bowl of rice is equivalent to 3 slices of bread. So that's how many grams? Ladies and gentlemen? 15 times 3 is 45. So you eat one bowl of rice at lunchtime, is how many grams? 45, okay? If you eat apple, one whole apple, okay? 15 grams. You drink a glass of milk, 15 grams. We are not saying that you should stop eating all this. I'm not asking you to stop. You have to have carbohydrates. They are very important nutrients. They actually supply most of our calories. But you need to just control. Don't overeat. Okay. Now, let me show you whether we are overeating or not. This is my favorite slide. I know Dr. Lee loves this slide. One plate of char kway teow, 744 calories. But that's not important today. Important today is how many grams of carbo? 76. Ladies who are between 18 to 30 years old, light activity level, how many grams are you supposed to have every day? 275. So you eat one plate of char kway teow is already minus 76. You eat one packet of nasi lemak for breakfast, 80 grams of carbo. You have one sugar donut, 19 grams because full of sugar. Okay, small apple 15, a glass of coffee with sugar 12. But if you do not add sugar, just black coffee, how many grams of carbo? Black coffee, how many grams? Zero, very good. Zero, okay? Because all the carbo comes from sugar, okay? So you know, if you need to control, you know how to do it, okay? So we need to know how much, okay? Now, I know, I put those information up because I know, I see a lot of diabetic patients and they always ask me, so can take sugar or not? Yes or no? Just 1 teaspoonful can or not, okay? Well, when I went to school 20 years ago, when I learned about diabetic management, at that time, no sugar for diabetic at all, full stop. But nowadays, more and more research coming out, and the recommendation is, yes, diabetics are allowed to have a little bit of sugar in their diet, provided, got condition one, okay? Provided that their sugar is under control. Okay, if your sugar constantly is 300, 400, or 20 millimole, can you have sugar? No, I don't think so, okay? But if your sugar is under control, it's always 6, 7, it's really well controlled, then of course, you can have a little bit of sugar, okay? But the problem is, most of the time, when you eat sugary food, you are not able to control. You eat and eat and eat. You eat your cakes and cookies, your dessert, your ice cream. You don't know when to stop. So if you are able to stop and you just have very, say, take it in moderation, it's fine. But if you know you cannot stop, like people who love to eat durian, cannot stop. I say eat 1 or 2 seeds, not eat 1 or 2 big one. They say cannot, 1 or 2 seeds is my appetizer, okay? I go to the plantation in Johor and I just pay don't know how many ringgit. I eat and eat. I said that if that's the case, please don't eat, okay? But if you say, okay, I just have 1 bite, just 1 seed, can? Of course, okay? So you need to learn how to control yourself. So if you can do that, it's fine. But at the same time, I also wanted to just highlight to all of you that unfortunately most of the food that's high in sugar are at the same time also high in fat. Our favorite food, like chocolate, ice cream, high in both. And you know that we need to go and make sure that we don't gain extra weight and we want to lose weight. If you eat a lot of high fat food, not easy to lose weight. So that's why if you are diabetic and if you are overweight, try to avoid that, okay? It's not that you cannot have it. Occasionally your birthday and you want to have a piece of cake. Is that okay? Dietitians will say okay. Because it's your birthday and it's once a year, right? But if you say, yes, trust me, I'm a dietitian, I will say yes. But if you say, Pauline, can I have it every week? Can I have it every other day? What's the answer to you? No way, okay? So it depends on how often you're going to have it, okay? Now, many patients also ask me, okay, I think I better don't have sugar, but I need my coffee to be sweetened. Can I do something? Yes, because nowadays in the market, there are many what we call sugar-free sweeteners, which you can use, like your aspartame, which does not have any calories, saccharin, ASK. So if you wanted to use something to sweeten your coffee, tea, your dessert, your red bean soup, green bean soup, you can use actually something like aspartame. But aspartame is, I think you probably know the brand name for aspartame better. It's called Equal, okay? A lot of us use Equal in our coffee and tea, but remember, if you cook, let's say red bean soup and green bean soup, and you go and add Equal while it's cooking, boiling, it will lose its sweetness. So you only add it in when you turn off the fire, when it's not so hot, okay? We also have other sugar alcohols that will give you the same sweetness, but you don't really need to use so much, like the sorbitol, mannitol, and xylitol, okay? So those are not as bad as the real sugar. Now, another question that I get more from my patients is, okay, so I went to see my doctors and they told me that I must go eat more whole grains. Why do I have to do that? They told me that it's better carbohydrates. Is it true? Yeah, it's true, okay? So we would like to also ask you to have better carbohydrates. The better carbohydrates are basically those which have more fiber, like your whole grains, your brown color bread, your wholemeal bread, your brown rice, your crackers, biscuits, which are made of wholemeal flour. Those are what we call better choices of carbohydrates. Fruits and vegetables, beans and lentils are also better choices. Why? Why are they better choices? Because they have more what we call fiber. So how does that help us? Because first of all, if you have more fiber, you actually tend to fill you up, so you don't eat so much. So if you don't eat so much, what will happen to you? You will slim down faster, right? So you will not overeat, you take in less calories, that will help you to lose weight. And secondly, when you eat more fiber, it will actually help you to slow down the carbohydrates breakdown. So it means that you will have better control of your blood sugar or blood glucose. So have more fiber, especially the whole grains kind of carbohydrates. Those are better choices. Instead of using white bread, go for wholemeal bread. Instead of using white rice, mix some white rice with brown rice. That would also help to improve the blood sugar control. Now, I'm going to shift my focus a little bit to what we call new concepts or new ideas or new things about diabetes and food. How many of you have heard of something called GI or glycemic index? Raise your hand. Wow, quite a lot. So what is GI? So tell me, what is GI? You told me you have heard of it, so what does that mean to you? Don't know. Okay, let me tell you, maybe spend the next 3 minutes to tell you a little bit about glycemic index, because many patients have heard that, I have to actually measure the GI of my food because I'm not supposed to eat anything that's very high GI or it's low GI. Okay, so I would like to actually also explain to you a little bit about what is GI. Okay, so what is glycemic index? Basically, the definition of glycemic index is the ranking of the foods based on their effect, immediate effect on blood glucose or blood sugar level. Okay, so the higher the number, it means the higher the effect, the faster they will raise your blood sugar level. Okay, so for foods that have very high GI are usually the carbohydrate foods that can break down very easily and absorbed by you and me. So that's why it's causing the blood sugar to raise very fast and very high. Those high GI foods are very good for people who exercise a lot and they need really quick energy after the exercise section. Foods with low GI are the carbohydrates that break down slower, releasing the sugar slower in your bloodstream, in the blood system, and that's causing a smaller rise in your blood sugar and can help you to control your blood sugar better. And it also in a way help to improve the sensitivity, your body's sensitivity to insulin, and may help people sometimes to lose weight and also lower down your blood lipids. Some studies also show that. So it's better for diabetics to actually choose foods that have lower GI value. So I'm showing you, okay, those are the foods that have lower, what we call lower GI value. For example, your lentils, your beans, lentils, macaroni would be a better choice, okay, spaghetti, your skim milk, yogurt, soybeans, barley, all those have pretty low GI. But the foods that have high GI will be, of course, glucose, which is, the sugar, okay? Your honey, your table sugar, your milk sugar, your bread, white bread, oat, rice, okay? All those have actually higher GI value. So does it mean that you should stop eating rice? No, okay, you just need to control the quantities, okay? Because besides GI, we also have something called GL, glycemic loading. It depends on how much you are eating, okay? And many of my patients also ask me, Pauline, how come you never show char kway teow? What is the GI for char kway teow? I wish I can tell you, but the problem is we do not have actually the GI value for almost all our local foods. Even though Health Promotion Board is right now trying to go and test all those foods and try to figure out what is the glycemic index. But glycemic index is very complicated because the glycemic index is actually of a food. It's affected by many factors, including the kind of carbo, the physical form of the food. Is it mashed or is it coarsely chopped, or is it in cubes? All very different. The same kind of chicken, minced chicken and chicken cubes and chops can be very different in terms of glycemic index. Okay, sorry, chicken is not a very good example because it's not really a carbohydrate food, but let's say stir-fried rice, or is it brown rice or plain rice, all very different. Degree of cooking, how long you cook it, fiber content, how much fiber it has, how much protein and fat it has, and also the person's reaction, because how much blood sugar does this person have before they eat the food also will have the glycemic index. So it's a very complicated issue. So we are still waiting for more information to come out. So but right now I just need you to understand what is the glycemic index concept. So when you read articles, when you see on the advertisement, then you will know how to evaluate those information. Okay. Now I have only two more slides to share.